Good morning, everyone. Um, yeah, I wanted to get on today. I've been up for a little bit, but I've been in bed. I, I honestly can't remember because I had two alarms set, and I think I woke up at 7 and I put the alarm down. And then I can't remember if I fell back asleep again, but I just know when I actually looked at the time on my phone, it was 9:40. So I'm imagining I fell asleep again and woke back up, and then I forgot about that part. Um, but yeah, so here it is at almost 10:30, but I was kind of awake at 7. Um, yeah, it's what, Saturday now, so um, if you don't know, I live in Florida, which there's been all this craze about the hurricane coming, and I never really freak out about that kind of stuff because A, I've lived in Florida my entire life and I've been hit by several hurricanes, and B, why would I freak out? That's not going to help anything. Um, it really annoys me that people go into so much chaos and buy like everything even though they don't need it because they are getting scared by the news and stuff. Which, I mean, it's good to have preemptive measures, but preemptive panic doesn't help anything. It never helps anything unless you're trying to escape and then you would make other people panic to confuse the people trying to find you. That's a very specific scenario. But yeah, also my eye is super watery right now, and I can't get it to stop. But but yeah, not too worried. Last time there was a hurricane, I think it was Irma. I'm pretty sure I streamed during that time for a bit, and then um, I might do that again. Not specifically for the purpose of streaming during a hurricane, but I've got some stuff that I wanted to just like chill out and do. I've been working on. I just barely started on it, but uh, I don't know why I have the headphones in. I'm not playing a video game. Just barely started on texturing some of the tiles for East Area. I want to go through and make all the grass look random as opposed to just a flat base. One, I think that'll make it look a lot higher quality. If maybe not, but um, the other thing is when you're running, it's hard to tell if you're moving. If you're in certain like quadrants. Um, so I wanted to make it so that there was texture there, so you can see it passing by on the screen. The big thing that I'm worried about is that if the textures don't match up well, you'll be able to see the outline of the boxes, which I don't really care too much about that because like you can kind of use that as a game mechanic, but I'd like it to look clean. So I'm probably gonna just do it open loop and see what it looks like, and then maybe go in and clean it up afterwards. But if I'm doing it random enough, I feel like it should uh, be harder to see it. I think there's gonna be a bias because um, like what I did with the current tiles to make it look like they're continuous is I would take the previous tile where the path was and I would mirror a few pixels on the left edge on the right edge of the tile to the left of it, and then I would mirror a few pixels on the right edge on the left edge of the tile to the right of it, and so those would be fluid, and then I would build off of those. So that makes it hard to see where that line is. Um, it's gonna be it would be annoying to do that in the current situation because it'd be annoying to do that with the textures because that means that I would have to kind of redraw part the the path, and also the fact that it's mirrored might stand out a little bit more on that large of a scale. So I'm gonna just see how it goes. But the cool thing about this is, and it'll take a very long time, but the cool thing is that it will make each section of grass unique, because I'm not actually like taking a section of grass and duplicating it over and over again. I'm going through and drawing every blade of grass. So um, I think that will add a layer of it won't slow down the game anymore because it's the same size picture, to my knowledge. I don't know how the image processor works for Python, for Pygame, but I'm pretty sure it's just image size that matters, or also the amount of images. But neither of those two things are changing. It's just the colors in each image. So I'm hoping that I'll get kind of an up in graphics quality without a pay uh, in what's it called? Without paying in speed, because speed's a problem right now. Yeah, that's what I'm working on with Easteria. Um, I have a Fortnite video that I'm editing together. Mitch and I did some challenges last weekend, and I'm pretty done. I've got the actual editing done to take the raw footage and clip it down to something watchable. But then I want to go in and add some extra stuff to make it interesting. Um, and then last night, Mitch, myself, and my buddy's younger brother Ian played trios on Fortnite. We didn't have Dustin because he's on vacation, but we did pretty well. I think we got like five wins in Division 6. So I mean, I was happy with that. I didn't get a lot of kills, but I never really do, and I was feeling a little bit better about how I was actually playing. So I'm happy. But yeah, man, the with the hurricane, it looks like the storm is going north now. And to be honest, if it doesn't hit Florida and hits somewhere else, I would feel worse about that. I keep telling people this because they're like, "Why aren't you freaking out? Like, why aren't you worried about your like buildings getting damaged and stuff?" And like, building damage happens, but the thing is that Florida has been forged in fire to be hit by hurricanes. We've been hit by so many hurricanes that like all the buildings, at least they should be, like they're required to by law when you build them. They have to be up to a certain standard to take a certain amount of winds and be able to like withstand the conditions of a hurricane. Obviously, you're not gonna survive a direct hit from the eye wall. Like that's insane high speeds, but at least like pretty close to it. Most of the buildings in Florida are gonna be like they're gonna survive. Flooding is bad, but like the irrigation systems in Florida have had more time to evolve into something that can take more water. Which so there's still going to be flooding, but when you see disasters, it's usually because the hurricane hit somewhere else. Like it hit New Orleans, or it hit Houston, or it hit I think it was up in North Carolina. There was just like 4 feet of water everywhere, and that can happen in Florida, but Florida is more prepared than anywhere else, I would say. I mean, the only people that get hit with hurricanes more is the Caribbean, but they don't Like the Caribbean's not as high of an economy as the state of Florida. So, um, like I would rather be hit by a hurricane than have the hurricane hit South Carolina. It's looking like it might. The good thing, which yeah, good thing, is that it's going up the coast. It's not staying out in the water, according to the projections. The projections change every day, but if it goes up the coast, that means it'll die down a little bit because some of the arms of it will be out on the land and everything. Um, I don't even know how it resists like that, but for whatever reason, um, if the eye of the storm gets too close to land, it starts losing power because I don't know if it's like more shallow water, and then if it's on land, then it's losing power. So it's planning to be a Category 4 when it taps Florida at the moment, and then according to the projections, it would curve north and then die down to a Cat 2 before it hits any other state. Um, but even then, like people are freaking out and claiming this is gonna be like Charlie and that whole era in 2004. I'm like, it's a Category 4, so it's not the worst it could be. And we've had Category 5s. I think Matthew was a Category 5. Um, and like I don't know. This whole this storm specifically hasn't seemed that bad to me from like what we've seen with other stuff. And I don't know why people are panicking so much, but I think they just want a reason to panic because it gives them an excuse to forget about all the other shit that's going on. I don't know. We got the school is closed down Friday or yesterday, I guess is Friday, and it's closed through Tuesday because at the time it was supposed to hit Florida on Tuesday, and then now it might not even be here until like late Tuesday evening, Wednesday morning. And even then, it's probably not even gonna make landfall completely, according to the projections. But I was talking with somebody, and I was saying that if I feel like people would handle a hurricane just showing up quickly a lot better than they handle a hurricane sitting out in the water and staring at them. It's like the anticipation just drives people nuts, and the fact that it was originally projected to get here on Sunday, and now the projection is Wednesday. Like that's a significant difference. Um, so I don't know. It kind of makes me laugh a little bit to see from a person's perspective what's happening. And I get why people freak out, but there's this huge crazy mentality of like buying everything in the store just in the off case that you're stuck in your house for a month. I don't I don't think that's ever happened in Florida. I know there's been some places that had to be evacuated, and I'm definitely biased because I haven't like I've been in like right in the path of hurricanes before, but I've never had that much damage. Um, I realize that's kind of wearing my privilege on my sleeve, but um, I don't know. At the same time, like there's some validity to that. Like I don't know. The big thing is like tornadoes will do the damage if they form because of the hurricane, and then the eye wall of the hurricane will do a lot of damage if it makes landfall. Um, but the like those things comparatively to those things compared to the rest of the storm are so small. So the probability of those things happening to you are very low, and just because they exist doesn't mean they're going to happen. Like, I don't know. And if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Like, I can't just keep running in circles because it could happen anywhere. Like, I can't run away unless I'm going like completely out of state. I hate the mentality that like you try to go to your family's place somewhere else so early on. Like it's a reasonable thing if you're going to get hit directly by the storm. Leaving that area, completely reasonable. I understand it. But if you don't know yet, then leaving your spot for another spot in Florida doesn't make any sense to me because like the projections change every day. What if that spot gets hit? And then you've just wasted all your gas getting there. The whole mentality is just crazy. I don't know, but I was talking about people freak out and buy everything in the store, which does happen. Like I went to Target yesterday, and you look at the bread aisle and it is barren. There's nothing on the shelves except there was artisan swirl pumpkin spice bread, which apparently nobody wanted in their house. I thought that was hilarious. Um, but like anything that's like non-perishable is gone. And so I'm sitting there. It's not. It can't last more than like a few days, right? So what I'm thinking is like I can get some fruit to snack on, like apples and bananas that don't have to be refrigerated, and they can just sit on my counter, and then I have like something that will decently fill me up. I have peanut butter and I have some bread that I already had because I just always have bread. Um, it's not it's I don't know what people's mentality is. And then there's the other mentality that's like bring on the hurricane because they want to have a party and get drunk, which I have no problem with that, and I've definitely participated in that. But I think I enjoy that side better, even though they're the arrogant side. I'd rather be with a bunch of people who don't care about the hurricane than be with a bunch of people that are freaking out about the hurricane during a hurricane. Because just being boxed up with somebody panicking is it's torture. Yeah, but I don't know. I've been slow on the sandwich eating today because I had a lot to talk about. I don't think I said it yet. I got this shirt the other day. I went to the 68 concert, which is probably like nobody who knows who they are, but that's fine. If you listen to their music, you probably hate it, but they've been an acquired taste for me because their concerts are so amazing. So I've been to 4 now, including when they've been at festivals. And they have not failed to impress me. They did this thing. The singer guitarist, his name's Josh Scogin. Um, he made this like crappy plywood wheel, and then had it painted with it was an actual like I forget what the actual name for it is, but it's a wheel you can spin, and then there's an arrow, and it'll tell you like it'll pick something randomly. So then he was pulling people up on stage. So instead of having a set list, they just had some options, and then they would spin the wheel, and whatever it landed on, they would do. And so it happened to land on two songs. There were a couple other ones on there that was like make a new song up at like off the top of your head, jam with someone from the crowd, tell a story. He was saying that it. He was saying that there was one concert that it landed on Tell a Story 3 times, and he was like, "Hey, you can imagine that was a great rock concert." But the, the after it landed on two songs, and two different songs, and then after the second song, he's like, "I want to clarify that we decided when we made this and decided when we were going to use this that if it lands on the same song, we gotta play it the same. We gotta play the same song. Like that's how it works." And I believe his exact quote was, "Them's the rules." But then, like almost immediately after he said that, one of the fans in the crowd spun the wheel, and it landed on the first song that they played. And so he's like, "All right, we're doing it," and they played the same song again. Yeah, it was funny. It's definitely like I kind of adore anything that they do. So there was people there that weren't enjoying it, but I was just eating it up. It's weird that my hair doesn't look that messy. Like it looks like it's styled on camera, but it feels weird to me. I think it's this. There's like an unnecessary amount of poof back there because it's just bedhead. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. No, I kind of just wanted to rant about the hurricane. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. So everybody's getting a bunch of like non-perishable stuff. I just went to Publix. I got I got a case of beer and I got two Publix subs that, in the event of an emergency, I can use for dinner for 4 days, and I don't have to cook. So as long as the fridge stays reasonably cold, which I put water in a bag, and I put that bag into the freezer. The problem with that is water isn't initially solid, as you may know. Um, and bags aren't the most watertight. They're usually airtight, but they're not like water makes more pressure. Um, so I had to try and sit it up in the freezer, and it eventually leaked some of it. It didn't leak all of it. There's still like half a gallon of water frozen into a block of ice, which I'm satisfied with. But after we're done with this, after the hurricane's passed and everything, I'm gonna have to take some time to chip all of the ice that has now formed on the bottom of the freezer off of the bottom of the freezer, because that's yeah, I wasn't really trying to make it an ice rink. But oh, failure is part of life. I wouldn't even consider it a failure. It still turned into half a gallon of frozen water. Well, yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna call it. Um, Not sure what I'm doing later. I might stream something random, maybe not. But yeah, that's what I'm done for today. Thanks for watching. If you have, if you want to watch this live, it's over on Twitch. I'm saying that because I also post these videos on YouTube, and then I'm sure there's some options of things that you can watch now if you're watching on YouTube. So I will see you later, and goodbye.